And we're going to finish the 9th chapter of Mary Poppins, John and Barbara's story. We've learned how the twins sort of know the languages of everything around them, the wind, the sun, the starling, but as they grow their teeth, the starling and both Mary Poppins remind them they will no longer remember how to speak those secret languages, and so we continue. It was not very long afterward that the teeth, after much trouble, came through as all teeth must, and the twins had their first birthday. The day after the birthday party, the starling, who had been away on holiday at Bournemouth, came back to number 17, Cherry Tree Lane. "Hello, hello, hello! Here we are again!" he screamed joyfully, landing with a little wobble upon the window-sill. "How's the girl?" he inquired cheekily of Mary Poppins, cocking his little head on one side and regarding her with bright, amused, twinkling eyes. "None the better for your asking," said Mary Poppins, tossing her head. The starling laughed. "Same old Mary P," he said. "No change out of you." "How are the other ones, the cuckoos?" he asked, and looked across at Barbara's cot. "Well, Barbarina," he began in his soft, wheedling voice, "anything for the old fellow today?" "Bella, Bella, Bella, Bella," said Barbara, crooning gently as she continued to eat her arrowroot biscuit. The starling, with a start of surprise, hopped a little nearer. "I said," he repeated more distinctly, "is there anything for the old fellow today, Barbie dear?" "Baloo, Baloo, Baloo," murmured Barbara, staring at the ceiling as she swallowed the last sweet crumb. The starling stared at her. "Ha!" he said suddenly, and turned and looked inquiringly at Mary Poppins. Her quiet glare met his in a long look. Then, with a darting movement, the starling flew over to John's cot and alighted on the rail. John had a large woolly lamb hugged close in his arms. "What's my name? What's my name? What's my name?" cried the starling in a shrill, anxious voice. "Arum," said John, opening his mouth and putting the leg of the woolly lamb into it. With a little shake of the head, the starling turned away. So it's happened," he said quietly to Mary Poppins. She nodded. The starling gazed dejectedly for a moment at the twins. Then he shrugged his speckled shoulders. "Oh, well, I knew it would. Always told them so, but they wouldn't believe it." He remained silent for a little while, staring into the cots. Then he shook himself vigorously. Well, well, I must be off, back to my chimney. It will need a good spring cleaning, I'll be bound." He flew on to the window-sill and paused, looking back over his shoulder. "It'll seem funny without them, though. Always liked talking to them, so I did. I shall miss them." He brushed his wing quickly across his eyes. "Crying?" jeered Mary Poppins. The starling drew himself up. "Crying? Certainly not. I have a slight cold. Caught on my return journey, that's all. Yes, a slight cold, nothing serious." He darted up to the window pane, brushed down his breast feathers with his beak, and then, "Cheerio," he said perkily, and spread his wings and was gone. And that's the end of chapter 9.